Yes, hi, I'm Graham Pooley. I'm a director of a small charity called Helping Hands Essex, which is an alcohol rehab which was originally set up specifically for homeless people who wanted to deal with an alcohol problem. So I'm obviously very concerned for the homeless community generally, and have been for a number of years when I was a city councillor as well. But I think I am part of groups of people that sit and talk about what we might do particularly for those in the thick of addiction in the homeless community. And from that point of view, it's not something that Helping Hands Essex can do directly because we're an abstinent facility, but we're working with Open Road and with the council and with Chess for that matter to try to see how we bridge that gap between recovery from addiction on the one hand and those who aren't able to get to the point of managing their addiction sufficiently.
All of you, for whatever reason, have the same mantra: you have to be dry or not drink or not be addicted at the point of entry into your establishments.
Well, that's not true for Open Road, of course. Open Road are there to enable people. They are the access point to drug and alcohol.
But they don't provide accommodation, do they?
No, that's correct. They don't.
So you who provide accommodation have always got this barrier, as it were, but for good reasons.
Thank you.
Could you explain why such establishments have what would you call it? It's part of their rules and regulations that if you are badly addicted and badly alcoholic, you've got to stop. You can't get in.
Yes. Well, from my point of view, I'm in recovery from alcoholism myself and have been for a number of years now. And one of the first things that I learned is that it's the first drink that does the damage. In other words, those with an addictive personality like myself have to get to a point of abstinence in order to begin to retread their brains and deal with the negative thinking and the triggers which lead to excessive alcohol abuse. And so our philosophy at Helping Hands Essex is that people must give abstinence a real fair crack of the whip, and those who succeed embrace it, because that's the way it is. Now, I don't say that that's the only way. There are a lot of people who go through Open Road who do so in order to control their drinking or to see if they can drink socially or whatever, and that's fine. It's not for me. So the people that we're looking at are the people who want to give abstinence a fair crack at the whip initially in order to see whether that's a way of life for them, but mainly to clear their brain sufficiently that they can grasp how to change their way of life.
You're looking after homeless people who are able to control it, as it were, and you help them to control it. Certainly,
control is not the word I'd use.
What would you use?
I guess I would say who are able to recover from what, in my opinion, is an illness. Yeah. And because it's the first drink or the first drug that does the damage and will take me, for example, back into addiction, then abstinence is the way forward to enable. But it's not about the substance. It's about living life sober, and that's our mantra: stay sober and live life.
Why have you come tonight?
Well, because it overlaps with the issue of homelessness generally, and I think people are increasingly aware that addiction is part of the problem that homeless people face. Either they're on the streets because they are addicted, or they become reliant on drugs and alcohol in order to survive the homeless state of living. Also because mental health interacts with addiction and homelessness massively, and I think that's something that everybody's coming to believe needs to be addressed. That we need to bring together the mental health services, the drug and alcohol services, and those providing homeless services in order to tackle the totality of the problem rather than bits and pieces. So I'm hoping that this is part of the process here. Yes, I knew Rob O'Connor was talked about in the meetings that I go to. He was one of those who very sadly was unable to get to the point of engaging with any of the services adequately to address his addiction.